Are you ready for a pixie book? Come on and listen in! With stories full of wonder, it's time now to begin. Oh, hello, children. Are you ready for a story? Oh, that's marvelous, because I'm ready to share one. Oh, here's the storybook. It looks like we're all ready. So, let's begin today's story. It's called A Christmas Carol. It was a snowy Christmas Eve, and everyone in the village was bursting with excitement. Soon there would be presents under the tree, stockings full of chocolate, and grandmothers telling you how much you've grown. But there was one man, old Ebenezer Scrooge, who didn't like Christmas at all. His neighbors felt sorry for him and tried to cheer him up. Children sang carols in front of his house. His relatives invited him for festive meals, but all he would say is, "Oh, go away and leave me alone." So, in the end, he got his wish and found himself all alone on Christmas Eve in his big, dark house. When it was time for bed that night, he said to himself, "Oh, only one more day and Christmas will be over. Hurrah!" And then, with a smile, he fell asleep. Sometime during the night, bright flashing lights woke him up. He had never seen such a thing, and just as he was about to pull the covers over his head, he saw a sparkling figure coming closer and closer. "I am the ghost of Christmas past," the visitor said. "Rise up and follow me, and I will show you what has been." Scrooge wasn't afraid because he felt the ghost seemed friendly, so he got out of bed to see what would happen next. Suddenly, they were in the countryside. It was like a dream. "We can see others," the ghost explained, "but no one can see us." In front of them stood an old school. They entered and saw that it was empty for the holidays except for one boy who was alone in a cold, drafty room. Scrooge gasped, "Why, that's me, when I was a boy." Then he saw his sister run into the school. She flung her arms around the boy and cried, "I'm here to take you home for Christmas." As he watched the scene, Scrooge wiped a tear from his eye and said, "Oh, my sister had such a good heart." The ghost nodded. "Now you understand," he said. "That means my time with you has come to an end." The ghost's sparkles slowly faded until he was gone and Scrooge was back in his bed. He was woken from a deep sleep again that night. Someone was knocking on his window. He went to open it, and a figure swept into his room. "I am the ghost of Christmas present," she announced. She too seemed friendly in her long dress made of swirling snow. "I will show you what is," she added. Scrooge reached out to catch a snowflake, and just like that, they were watching over a family enjoying their Christmas dinner. There was a father, a mother, and lots of laughing children. Their house was much smaller and simpler than Scrooge's, but it was bright and warm. "That man works for me," said Scrooge. "He's lucky to have such a happy family." The ghost of Christmas present smiled. "I have something else to show you." Then, with the fluttering of her snowy dress, they flew outside to a narrow street. There, they saw a long line of people leading to the baker's shop. Some were laughing, some were singing, some were huddling together to warm up. "They're waiting to warm simple meals they've received in the baker's oven," the ghost explained. "Have they no homes?" Scrooge asked. The ghost shook her head. "No, but they have each other." Scrooge sighed and thought of his big, dark house. "Someone should offer them a warm place to stay," he said. The ghost nodded. "Now you understand." Then, spinning like a snow flurry, she rose up into the sky, and Scrooge was back in his cozy bed. A third time, he was woken in the middle of the night by a rumbling in the fireplace across from his bed. He sat up and looked toward it. "Santa Claus?" he asked. A slim, hooded figure emerged from the fireplace, brushing ashes off his dark robe. He shrugged as if to say, "Do I look like Santa Claus?" "Let me guess," said Scrooge. "You're the ghost of Christmas future. You will show me what will be." The dark figure nodded. This time, Scrooge felt scared, but he drummed up his courage and said, "I know you're here to help me be a better person. Can you speak to me?" But the ghost only pointed straight ahead and moved forward like a dark cloud. Scrooge understood that he was to follow. As soon as he did, they were on another village street. A group of people Scrooge recognized were chatting. One person mentioned a man who only cared about himself and wasn't nice to anyone. Another person agreed, yes, he doesn't share anything with anybody, not even at Christmas. Scrooge thought about what he'd heard. Could they be talking about me? He asked. He turned to the ghost, who slowly raised a bony finger, pointing at him. "Oh no!" cried Scrooge. "Why do I only think of myself? Why do I never think of others?" The ghost tapped the side of his head. The message was clear. Now you understand. And with that, he spread out like a gray fog and vanished. Once again, Scrooge was back in bed, but this time he woke up to the rays of sunshine coming in the window. He looked around his bright room, then out the window to the snowy rooftops beyond. "It's Christmas morning," he cried with delight. Then he jumped up, rushed to his window, and looked out. He saw that same man that works for him walking towards his house in the street below. He opened his window and called out to him, "Can you help me? I'm having a big Christmas party at my house tonight. There will be lots of food and presents and warmth for all. Invite your family. And could you please tell everyone you see? I do it myself, but I'll be too busy making my home cheery and bright." The man let out a whoop and rushed off to share the news with everyone he saw. Being with others is so much better, Scrooge realized. I'm glad I have lots to share to make this the merriest Christmas our village has ever had. The end. Oh, what a touching story. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you have a merry, warm Christmas. See you next time. If you want me to tell you when I have a new story to tell, just click on the bell.